Hey everyone, I am Olivier, also known as The Mystical online, where we run a YouTube channel called The Mystical. We talk about latest VR news and review virtual reality technologies, and I'm very excited to be here today to talk about fitness in virtual reality on the VR Fitness Summit. We've got some great panelists with us here today, so if you guys want to introduce yourselves.
Sure. Hi everyone, I'm Almir Brljak. I am the co-founder and CEO of Sin Studio. We're an XR developer exclusively focused on combat games. We're the team behind the Quest and PlayStation bestseller Swordsman, and one of the most anticipated games right now in the free-to-play space, Battlegrounds. We've also dabbled in MR, which was also a really great experience for us and a great leverage for fitness. XR, the developer focused on combat at a very high level.
Awesome. I'm Kelly Cosentino. I'm the Director of Content Programming and Strategy at FitXR. We specialize in all different varieties of workouts, so ranging from boxing to Zumba. Our biggest goal is to make sure that you have the most fun having an absolute killer workout. So it's really that perfect blend of fitness, authenticity, and fun.
Hi, I'm Job Stauffer. I'm fresh onto the leadership team at FunFitLand, which is the fastest growing and highest rated fitness app platform on MetaQuest, and more platforms very soon. I'm also the co-lead designer of Starwave, which just launched last fall on MetaQuest, and some of you might know me from launching Supernatural and a number of other VR fitness projects, and I'm a fan of it all and a big fan of iced coffee and happy to be here.
Well, hi, I'm Ronnie, CEO of Versus Games, amongst others, also a game designer, game director, known from xFit, Fitness One, Recharge, and a couple of other titles. Last 5-6 years we're doing everything regarding fitness and VR. And way before that all console games and mobile games, but VR and fitness is definitely my thing.
Awesome. I've got some great questions for you guys here, so starting off with the first one. When you first started building your game, who did you think would play it, and who's actually playing it now? And were there any surprises?
I could kick it off. The way that we think of like building games is essentially solving problems that we know are already present amongst the user base. So one of our favorite games was Blade and Sorcery. So we went and read all of their 1-star reviews, found out that realistic combat was a huge ask. Ultimately, it didn't fit the mission of Blade and Sorcery, but we saw that as an opportunity for ourselves. So we absorbed, to some extent, a lot of the Blade and Sorcery audience, which was middle-aged males. The transition that we've seen recently is that the audience is trending younger, and that's the biggest surprise for us, how quickly that transition happened and the choices that we've had to make internally to stay relevant. Ultimately, it's a really pleasant surprise. I'm really happy that younger generations want to use this technology, and I think it would yield a lot of long-term positive effects.
I'll take it about FitXR. So when we first came onto the market, I think similarly, we were expecting really those early adopters of VR. So those are your classic gamers. But what we're finding now is that more often it's another person in the household, often a mother, who discovers this and is like, oh, my kid has this, picks it up, does FitXR, and now all of a sudden the Oculus becomes a household item. So women typically are looking for a solution for fitness that's easy, convenient, snackable is what we like to say. And so we're really finding that they're resonating with what we're providing as well as men. And what we're changing now is how we're catering it to both. And what we found in a lot of studies too is like what men care about is different than women. And this comes from like graphics, the game mechanics, strength. So they have different goals. Meanwhile, the women are looking for that bit of escapism, a beautiful scenery. They're looking for a great motivational coach with you. So making sure that our product really speaks to both, and that both men and women who are typically moms, dads, are getting the most out of this, and they see the value in different ways.
I think for FunFitLand early on, a lot of the original thinking had been, what we knew kind of kicking it off around late 2023, early 24, that there was this big market that we wanted to cater to of ourselves and our parents. And there's, a very big desire for fitness solutions for people who are, early millennials, Gen X, and younger boomers. Effectively, it's a really big chunk of people out for high-tech fitness solutions at home. But there are so many on this market right now, especially on MetaQuest. So, it's a matter of who's looking for something that feels like a virtual gym, but who's also looking for something that's just really fun and doesn't feel like a gym. And for FunFitLand, fun is, it's the first in our namesake. And that's the first part of the focus here is how do we make the most fun fitness experience? And part of that, with whether it's FunFitLand or also Starwave, it's about appealing to the inner child. How can we put you in there and feel like a kid and just have time go by, put you in flow state and totally forget that you just burned 1,000 calories in an hour? And I think doing that and building content and building experiences predominantly for adults to put them into that state of mind and appeal to the inner child, it was the thinking that we're going to be making content for adults and the inner child. The surprise is how many children actually do like to get in and experience things like FunFitLand and Starwave. And that's not necessarily who we built it for. We built it for the inner child. So I think the surprise is, and it's no surprise to people watching the MetaQuest market and looking at how things are changing and evolving, things like Gorilla Tag. But thanks to Gorilla Tag and seeing young children and kids getting in and getting active, they're also looking for more active experiences that their parents are playing. So that's been a really surprising bridge to see kids coming in and doing coached workouts or, flying around in space and dancing at the speed of light. It's been really surprising and enlightening and exciting.
And I guess it's my turn. Well, I hear all you guys think about your audience. I have to admit, I haven't thought about my audience so well, actually, from the beginning. I mean, I've got a big, rich background in action games, racing games for console and mobile, and hundreds of millions of people play the games I designed. So you always need to make sure the games are fit for everybody. Young, old, accessible is the whole word. And for fitness, when I made the transition, making action games is fairly easy, especially on consoles and mobile. It's easy to earn some big money there. And for VR, well, my investors weren't so happy, obviously, when I make that whole change. But I just looked at my own environment. My own wife and kids and neighbors, they're all used to easy living. Everything needs to be fun. Everything needs to be easy, like Netflix, like Fortnite, like Roblox, everything needs to be fun. They need to be helped and motivated. So when I designed Fitness One and later xFit, World of Dance, I always had that actually in mind to make sure that, I make exercising easy for everybody. Easy and motivating, accessible. And now I see, I've made hundreds of games in my career, but the only game my surroundings play is definitely xFit, like the wife, my two boys, my mother even, and she's now 75, I believe, or 76. I actually don't know how old she is, but she still plays, and that's awesome. They all keep fit.
Okay, great. That was very interesting to hear. It seems a lot of you sort of started building for different audiences and then realized that, hey, actually someone entirely different ends up playing this. That's really cool. That is really cool. What kinds of personal goals are your players sharing with you? Is it more about weight loss, staying active, or mental health? And how does your game help them get there?
Internally, players, we built 3 combat games, and the input is different. In VR, you move along with in our case, you move around with an analog stick. In MR, you use your physical body. Our players aren't directly telling us about their fitness experience, but they're describing it, such as, I was a little bit sore. I can play for longer now. And internally, we believe that the best workouts are the ones that you don't know you're having. Like, you engage in sports, and if you were to tell someone after a round of dodgeball, hey, that was a really good workout you did, they'd be like, no, I played dodgeball. I didn't work out. And that's kind of how we perceive it internally. It's like, no, you didn't work out. You battled to the death against the gladiator, and you ended up working out. So that's how we phrased it internally. And just naturally, the motions of combat, the input of combat, you dodge, you block, you swing, that really was the culture that we had internally and the vision that we wanted to put forward. You finish a game, the bonus is that you got a workout, but you get a workout every time.
I love that. It's like that accidental fitness. At FitXR, we're a little bit more on the nose about the fitness goals. So when you first on board, we want to know exactly why you came here and how we can better tailor our workout experience to you. So we find that most people walking in the door do want to lose weight, but that's not always what they walk out with. They have these benefits of mental benefits. They're more active throughout other parts of their life. The second most frequent goal that we do see is strength as well. And like I mentioned before, there is a little bit difference of the demographics of who wants either of these things. Now, what is cool about FitXR is that we did do a scientific study where FitXR was taken for 15 minutes by 83 folks. And so when compared to actual conventional exercise, FitXR was proven to burn more calories. There was a higher sense of work from the individual, so they felt like they worked out harder. And then they also received mental benefits. So it was really cool to have that scientific backing of specifically FitXR classes and to see a peer-reviewed journal be published about it. And so we feel like the different blend and variety of classes really helps with delivering that full body package and being able to deliver both on weight loss and on strength.
I think for FunFitLand in particular, I think people come into it thinking that, that main, stereotypical goal of, I got to work out and lose weight is kind of like maybe top of mind. But it's really once they get in there and start connecting with the community that they start to unravel and realize that the deeper desire, the innate desire that's, there for almost every human being, that need for support and connection and community in order to help us grow and become our best selves is really there for everyone. So once they come in and they think it's about losing weight, but for us, it's really about making sure they're having fun and experiencing joy and finding connection. So they step in through the door, they see, how much fun it is, how little we talk about weight loss and how much we're just talking about the emotional journey. And, stepping into our community and connecting with other users on Facebook, we find that over time, they're reaching this goal they didn't know they have or meeting this need they didn't know they had of connection and finding other people going through the same thing and focusing on the emotional journey and the joy and really the mental aspect that is critical at the bedrock of your physical fitness journey. It's all tied together. And community is a bigger part of it than I think most people realize. And we're just so stoked to see people come in and find that community connection that they didn't know they needed.
Yeah, definitely agree there. It's all connected. So it's not really about weight loss, staying active, mental health. What we also see is that it's all really connected. And well, if you're interested in health, obviously, then you also know that physical fitness is also mental fitness. And what you eat, how you move, everything. You can endlessly learn more and more about those subjects. And with personal goals, aside from the analytics, we have a very extensive, detailed analytics dashboard built ourselves. So we really know how people are using it and what kind of people are using it. And the combinations, the correlation, that it is very interesting because we're also working with hospitals, physical therapies, gyms, things like that. It's really interesting. But also people are reaching out to us. And that's something uncommon for me. Like I said, I did a lot of action games and racing games, but yeah, you get a million reviews, sure, nice. But here people actually reach out and say, you actually fixed my pain. Like I've got 10, 12 years pain in my back. I heard a big crack and it's fixed. And I'm like, ooh, crack? But okay, it's fixed. Nice, good, I think. So, but those stories, I heard a whole lot of stories about those people, and sometimes quite scary, not just the guy with the back, but also a girl who said, I cannot even get actually up. I can only lie down on the floor, but I want to buy a game and I want to exercise. And I was like, okay, how are we going to approach that? But I like that. I like that, how that evolves.
Awesome. And what's something you're most excited about in terms of VR hardware and software that could level up fitness experiences in the next year or two?
I think everybody's going to say AI.
I'm going to stay away from AI. I think it's one that we're all, like much of the industry agrees on. It's form factor and comfort. I know I've played a lot of experiences on the Meta Quest Store, but also PlayStation VR. And I remember how much removing the wire actually made the experiences more enjoyable. But like my biggest issue still currently is I get too into the fitness, the gamified fitness experience. And then I'm finding that there's a lot of physical disruption based on how the headset is hitting me. How much it's weighing down on me over time, how much I'm actually sweating because of the headset, because of like the weight that it carries and the way that the weight is distributed. We can make arguments like, yeah, but if you buy the strap, reality is most people don't actually buy a strap. They use the headset as it comes in box. So like comfort and form factor, I think for me are the two things I'm most excited about. I don't know how realistic they are. That's another conversation, but I am excited about them.
I completely agree with that. The other thing that I would add, in addition to making it more comfortable on your head or lighter on your head, would be also to be able to have foot tracking. I find that can really help open up how we gamify the total body. Right now, we're a bit restricted into movements that you get scored based on your hand movement, but there's so many things in fitness that don't require a hand. So that would be my one. Also, I'm excited to unlock the ability to use weights in a safe way. And that does come with like a lighter headset. We can do it now, but again, it's like it needs to feel a little bit more satisfying to pick up those weights and to really deliver an experience that you can't get in the gym. But I do feel like right now that is a differentiator between me going to the gym and me staying in headset is being able to like physically work with my environment more.
Cool. I would say that for FunFitLand, I'd say that the one thing that we're waiting for is not more hardware. It's actually less hardware. And, when we at FunFitLand, set out to start building it and effectively launch what is still kind of a beta on MetaQuest, we love controllers. We're gamers. We love it. We love the precision. We love the tactile response. At the same time, it's kind of undeniable that there's also a barreling parallel market of hardware and a future that doesn't involve controllers and makes us more of the controllers. So when we're looking at things like Apple Vision Pro and thinking about what is a FunFitLand or a product like that going to look like when and if we come to there, it's really about better hand tracking technology and how do we rethink our need for these physical interface devices and really put the user more into the experience itself without the barrier. So, and there's one line of thinking that this, is going to give you more precision. At the same time, the other line of thinking is that without it, you remove this barrier interface between yourself as a human and the immersive experience we're trying to put you in. So we're really excited about that, and we're excited for the technology to be evolving to be able to enhance your physical and emotional connection to the experience without as many physical interfaces. So that's really exciting for us and excited for our users to see what we have in store.
Yeah, I definitely like that. Smart glasses and something for the wrists and for the ankles. There are some solutions, obviously, but it's just like with the VR headsets. If you want people to buy those smart glasses, and smart glasses need to be there faster, then they need the proper apps to buy it. Like a VR set, if I want to sell somebody a headset, they will ask, what can I do with it? Why should I buy it? And with smart glasses, like the much thinner versions of VR sets, it's the same thing. And the only thing that seems to convince people is AI these days. So we've been working quite hard on an AI personal trainer in the game. Like you can actually talk to her and she talks back, him or her, whatever you prefer. And also with different kind of customization and personalities. And that's actually nice. I've been working with that AI personal trainer now for a couple of months, I think 3 months now. And every time she knows better and better how I work out, what I do. I've got a couple of autoimmune diseases, so she also keeps that into account. I have to admit I'm also a bit older. I'm now 45, 46 even as of last week. So she also knows I've got some pain in my neck and my knees. And that is quite a big step, and I can see how that will go in a couple of years. And it's really AI powered, then it's going to be real fun, real personal fitness.
That is really interesting.
I just quickly wanted to add, I'm realizing how, like, mixed reality doesn't get enough credit for the value that it brings. A lot, like we had countless emails saying like, I broke my TV playing your game. I broke my screen. I flipped over this because it's like so immersive and it requires a lot of body input from you. And our input, we created a mixed reality combat game, and a lot of our positive reviews touched on, I have much more confidence in my movement now that I can see my space. And that's super important. Like you commit to your actions much deeper when you're confident that there's no harm coming.
I've hit this wall here, I've hit the ceiling, I've hit everything.
I would also chime in and just say that's something we totally believe in as well, and that was it's apparent anytime someone turns on MR and it's like, see your cat, see your dog vision, see your lamp vision, but also, although it may not be available in the market anymore, I think one thing Meta really had ahead of the curve was the form factor design of the Quest Pro and how it left your vision open around your cheekbones and around the sides of your eyes, and it gave you that peripheral sight to see your lamp, your dog, your cat, and know that you're not going to be hitting anything. Like I'm the kind of player who modifies my Quest 3 to have this like open gasket so I can always see around me whether, the software has mixed reality or not. And I think it's just really exciting that I hope that future hardware is always taking that note. But that's also kind of the goal with glasses, the MR glasses. Glasses structure allow you to see around here whether it's a mixed reality experience or not. So more of that is going to be better for not just VR fitness, but just for the confidence and the safety of VR in general.
Absolutely. I really do think so. I really thought a lot more people were going to say AI as well, so I find that quite interesting. Yesterday we had a talk about mental health in virtual reality, and there was a lot of AI talk there. So that's quite interesting. But I do agree with all the points. I think actually less hardware, making everything smaller, making everything lighter, essentially making the user forget that they're wearing it is going to help a lot. So that's great there. If you could wave a magic wand and invent one piece of tech to make your game more immersive or effective for fitness, what would that be?
Okay. On our side, well, maybe not even on the studio side, just on my side, personally speaking, it would be like a haptic glove that has multiple inputs and multiple restrictions to emulate the object that you're that you're interacting with in the virtual world. Like I play a lot of hand tracking games, but there's no doubt that they're not as reliable as I would love them to be. And then on the controller side, for me, they still feel a little bit clunky, having set inputs and not natural inputs in the way that you actually engage with stuff using your hand. And I think a glove would solve all of that. I know there's some early R&D with a lot of companies. It's still a ways out, but personal opinion would be a really light haptic glove that comes with every headset or glasses.
I can second that. My audience also asked for that, but I'm afraid for all the wrong reasons. I mean, now you're playing just Qigong and yoga, and then they've structured off something like a cat-cow exercise or the cobra, and then they're asking, it'd be cool if you guys support haptic gloves. And we're like, no, we won't support haptic gloves, sorry. Yeah, the emails you get, the people on Discord, they're fun, they're nice.
They have great ideas, though, and you have to listen to them, or you want to listen to them and deliver immediately. But tech moves as fast as it does. I kind of said this before, but if truly the magic wand would be a way for me to effectively integrate weights in a safe way into our workouts. But aside from that, because I want to come up with something, a little bit different because we already talked about it. I'd say I really crave a way to build bigger connection between our coaches and the user. And you'll see it on other platforms of like stereoscopic or volumetric capture. And we have some of that in our game as well. But I think that there's got to be some blend there of I don't think that everyone who's entering the VR space is ready to connect with an avatar or to connect with AI. I would say that most people, at least for our audience, are, again, like those moms that are stumbling upon it, and we're still used to this traditional fitness sense and building a connection with your coach and this and a sense of credibility with them. And I just think that there's some I don't know how we're gonna crack it as a community, but I would love the wand to better make me feel like I'm there in the class and my coach is with me in my space, and they can tailor it to me, and it is unique, but it doesn't feel so distant with it. Sometimes with an avatar, you don't get that same level of emotion and connection. So, and that is what's critical. And Job, you had mentioned it before. It's like that community and that connection is actually what you crave. And I've been a personal trainer for years, and like that's what builds retention, is that connection piece, and that's why somebody keeps training with you and keeps trusting you. So yeah, anyway, a little long, but I'll pass the baton over.
Oh gosh, this is such a tricky one. I feel like, between all the one thing that we always get is, and we're still working on it with better integration for FunFitLand, and coming really soon with fitness tracker devices, so calories and heart rate. And, that's, solvable, but at the same time, not everyone has one. So I think looking at future devices that ship with, embedded heart rate monitoring in headset is going to alleviate that need for this plus integration, where it's all kind of built into the hardware. So not only does the user have a better understanding of their heart rate and if they're elevating, but also we do as designers, we know when and how to push them. But the other thing that I would say, that if I could wave a magic wand and, every piece of VR fitness hardware came with one thing that it doesn't come with now, it's actually something that most people have in their homes but don't think to integrate with their VR fitness setup, and that is a fan. There is something to be said about surrounding yourself with moving the air and circulating the air around you. Your body needs it. It's going to cool that sweat off and make it a more comfortable experience. And, I don't know if anyone's ever actually gone outside with their headset and stood in the grass and stood in the earth and had the air blowing around them, but had a highly immersive experience while wearing a headset. It's pretty powerful, and it's even more human in a lot of ways. So circulating the air around you, and if some way every headset came with a set of circulating fans for your home, or a reminder for people to always turn those on, would be really helpful for people to be more immersed.
I will try to get out in the garden and with the headset. I'm always afraid of what other people may think when I'm wearing the headset outside, but perhaps I'll try it somewhere this week. But one piece of tech make more immersive. What we're working on now with the AI piece, that kind of technology, we haven't released it yet because we don't know the impact just yet. I mean, we've been testing it for a couple of months now, also with some other folks, not just the team itself. But it is quite scary because of the expressions. It's really, really realistic. The human bond is very strong. And we also see some people are having weird conversations with the AI about the mental health questions in life. So I don't want to rush something like that, at least in the world, and see let's see what happens. That's not how you should treat this kind of technology. But that's definitely interesting. But talking about hardware, what Kelly said, I think the leg tracker is definitely also high on the list, very high on the list, because of, for MMA, martial art, kickboxing, kung fu, anything, exercise, anything that's really popular in the world, actually, also regarding sports, you definitely need something like that. And I know there are some leg trackers, like from Pico, for example, but who has those? It needs to be mainstream, needs to be distributed at your Walmart, your GameStop, the Target. Like how it was with the Wii, for example, Nintendo Wii, Nintendo Switch, needs to be really mainstream. And then it will be really fun to make games like martial arts, those kind of games. That's something I look forward to.
I would interject and just play on that. The other major magic wand that I think everyone is waiting for years is, it would be really awesome if Nintendo stepped into the immersive field. I'm not talking cardboard here with a Zelda level. I'm talking Nintendo. Come on, y'all. It is
about time.
It is overtime for some serious, not only VR Mario Kart, but some VR physical Smash Brothers and some,
but also sports. Nintendo was always very strong in sports. With Wii Sports, is the number 3 top-selling game ever.
Yeah, they were pioneers in the space of fitness and at-home entertainment. interactive at-home entertainment. And I think we're all still waiting, but we're all not holding our breath. But it would be that would be the prime magic wand wave, is Nintendo's immersive headset for VR fitness would be amazing.
Yeah,
Every
definitely
April
magic
Fools.
wand.
Every April Fool's, I fall victim to news that Nintendo got me a headset for the last 4 years. But
Yeah.
maybe one day it won't be on April 1st.
Someday.
Maybe.
It's
Okay.
a magic wand, so one can wish.
March 10th, Mario Day.
Awesome. And here we've got a pretty interesting question, because it's, what is your bold prediction on where VR fitness will be in the next 5 years?
We have a bunch of fitness specific app experts here, so this might sound a little silly, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. I think the bold prediction I have is that future workout locations like the F45s will be able to replace a lot of their physical equipment with headsets, and that personal trainers might actually have 4 or 5 headsets each, and they can run full classes using digital objects to get similar results than lugging around or needing heavy stationary objects. That's it from me.
That is pretty bold.
Right? You heard it here first.
I think that to kind of go off of that idea in a little different of a direction, I think it'll be more popular in the workplace to have something as like a work benefit that, you see it more and more that people are going more into the office and companies are going less remote or trying to convert back. And I think that what's wonderful about, I think, all of our platforms is that it's accessible, it's quick, but it's effective, and you don't necessarily need to go to the gym to get it. And it's the perfect little lunch break thing, and it builds community. I know I love sharing it with my family and casting it and getting to see each other compete. So I think that it could be something there. And then in general, I hope that in the next 5 years that it doesn't feel like it's a novelty item and then it's more normal in the household. It's like your Nintendo or your PlayStation, and it's, let's pull out the VR, not Aunt Kelly is the only one that has a VR that I know of. It's we can go and enjoy it at anyone's house. I am the cool aunt, by the way. I have this. But yeah, I think that'll just become less taboo. It's more mainstream. Again, you get it in your office, you have it at your friend's house. It's something that brings us together.
For sure. I think, and kind of to connect it to the last thing I was saying about, standing in the earth and the wind, is where I see VR fitness going in 5 years is not just becoming more commonplace in the home, but I see it going outside. And outside, if you look at the trajectory of our form factors of headsets becoming more and more glasses, and we talked about that need for safety. The more you can see around you, the more you know you're not going to hit your dog, your cat, or your lamp. But the more that you can see around you, you know that no one's coming up to, steal your wallet. No one's coming up to steal your gym bag. You know that you can see around you. You might be able to, and we've seen this already with some projects where people are out in football fields and creating, immersive mixed reality sports and throwing, light balls out, 100 yards away. And there's all kinds of really cool projects coming out where we're outside and we're playing games and we're heightening and reinventing sports and social activity. So beyond just being stuck and confined into your play area at home, it's, I'm going to throw on my glasses and go meet my friends by the basketball court or out by the football field, and we're going to play, hyperball, or we're going to play, laser tag or something wild and insane that we haven't even thought of yet. So it's really about where immersive reality starts to converge with our outdoor and reality. And as much as we want the home space to accelerate sort of the normalization of it being in the home, it's kind of not until people start to see it out in public that it vastly and exponentially accelerates the normalization of immersive tech in physical fitness and sports.
That's a nice dream for sure.
I love that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Well,
I'll be outside playing VR in the field if anyone wants to talk more about it.
Catch you out there, yeah.
I can confirm it's nice. I have tried it.
Yeah.
We actually, with a bunch of friends, played Blade and Sorcery on the beach, which, you know, massive open area. So
Yeah.
that was very interesting.
It's fun. My design partner and I, Robin, we live in the Pacific Northwest. So, and when it's, 80% of the time it's gray skies. So sometimes we go out when it's not raining and we'll throw on FunFitLand, turn on mixed reality, and all of a sudden we're standing in a field, both dancing on rainbows and, to this beautiful music, but there's this gray sky in the periphery, and it just like, it cuts through that reality where it's like, no, like there are instances where you want to heighten and alter your physical space around you and have like an intense, immersive, physically active experience. So it's so much fun. I can't wait till people get to do this more regularly.
okay, my turn, I guess. Well, first I missed that word bold prediction, so I was thinking of prediction, and I was thinking of all the conservative gyms, the very conservative hospitals. I mean, hardly anybody seems to be adopting VR. Meanwhile, a lot of people need to exercise more, take care of their health more. But with a bold prediction, sometimes things go quite fast. I mean, AI and ChatGPT, now everybody's using it. That went really, really fast. So I hope it's the same now with health, actually. That, I don't think I'm allowed to say the word, but starts with an F. An F towards all the hospitals and all the old-fashioned gyms, all the conservative people. Just everybody using smart glasses with AI. Everybody's walking around with the personal trainer, almost like a hologram. And they're helping with what you eat, nutrition, what you drink, how often you get off your chair, for example, what kind of exercises, stretching, meditation, relaxation, everything. And I really think that is feasible within 5 years. Again, one can dream.
It could. I mean, smart glasses are moving really fast, so it could definitely be a possibility. Okay, that's all the questions we had on the list here, so thank you all so much. That was a great conversation. I hope you guys enjoyed it as well. But yeah,
sure.
That's going to be it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This is fun. So,
Thank you for having us.
thanks, guys.
It's
Thanks,
great meeting you
Esther.
guys.